much about getting better every day. You've won 5 out of the last 6 games. Have you gotten better in these last 6 games? If so, where?
Yeah, I mean, I think I try to put the results aside. I think it's our mentality coming into games. I think it's a little bit more urgency on the defensive side. That's been the biggest thing outside the Cleveland game where I didn't think we had it, from the start. The way we've started games with defensive activity, we're trying to put 48 minutes together on the defensive side of the floor. It's ignited our offense. Different guys stepping up different nights. We're going to have to win ball games different ways. I think our guys embracing that and understanding that is part of our development process this stage of the season. But we're making strides in the right direction, but we still have a lot of work to do.
The Miami game, speaking of playing 48, last week you were being asked about losing big leads. That didn't happen in the Miami game. Was that close to a full 48?
Yeah, that was better. I think we could have been up, more going into halftime. I thought we let a couple of stretches of the first half get away from us, but that was definitely closer to 48 minutes of what we expect, Grizzlies basketball to look like, not just on the defensive side, but the offensive side. As I said just a moment ago, it's all about the mentality. You're going to have to play with a lead. You're going to have to play with a deficit. It was great that we built a lead and we didn't lose a big lead for sure. But our guys just, execution of the game plan, that was a big part, I thought, in the first quarter against Miami. And then offensively, just understanding what our game plan is. It should be the same every single night. Whatever minor tweaks got to do based off of what we think the defense is going to do. We're seeing some zone a little bit more, so that's kind of throwing a wrinkle into our game plan offensively. But it's just more work that we can put into our overall game.
Coach, I just want to ask you, what's your position on how tight it is in this last stretch in the NBA Western Conference? Because, a lot of teams are jockeying for position, including the Kings, who are having a little bit of a losing streak. But how do you keep your team, approach, game to game to game and understanding, how tight this race is?
Yeah, we don't try to, put too much of a magnifying glass on any one result for sure. A win's not going to dictate everything. A loss isn't going to dictate everything. But we gotta think about the full 48 minutes and what that process looks like. I mean, we got to continue to put a lot of work in right now. We had a great team meeting a couple weeks ago talking about the state of our defense and how that honestly impacts a lot of our offensive abilities. We just got to keep pouring the work. We don't want to be just standing watching, just living day by day. I mean, obviously everyone's looking at the standings and seeing where you're at. And I mean, the Western Conference is super deep right now, but all we can handle right now is the Kings. And then tomorrow it's on us. And then the next day it's Portland. And the next day it's focusing on us. So having that right balance of, making sure we're still a priority at the end of the day, making sure we're our best versions of ourselves, individual development, collective development, that's the most important thing we can control.
Also, was just mentioned too about you've been playing pretty well the last 5-6 games. How has Jaren Jackson been, in that mix as well? Because he's been a big part of everything that you do.
Sure. I mean, he was out for a couple of the games with an injury, but it was great to get him back. The boost that he played with against Cleveland, especially in the Miami game, I thought, obviously when you've got time off, you want to try to get that rhythm as quick as possible. In your first couple of games back, it was great to see what he was doing defensively with this disruptive, play, blocking shots, getting steals, offensively, just 3-level score, getting the free throw line, his paint attacks in one-on-one situations, good playmaking, obviously knocking down 3-point shots. So step in the right direction. I mean, he's had a huge impact on us all season long. All NBA type player, defensive player of the year, candidate, should get recognized for that. But he just wants to be out there helping his team win, and it's great to see that he's back in the fold the last 2 games.
Nothing else? All right.
Great.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.